Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
You're listening to Believe You Me with Michael the Count Bisping and Paul Felder.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Believe You Me podcast. Paul, how the hell are you? That is quite the jazzy hat that you are wearing. Let's just start with this. What is going on?
So today marks the final day of the Giro d'Italia, which is like a big stage bike race, very similar to the Tour de France. And I found it in my garage. I forgot I even had this thing. And I was watching it today as I was doing a ride. And I was like, you know what? I'll put on my sweet ass cycling hat today for all the nerd cycling fans that don't watch this podcast. But now they'll know. Now they'll know to go check out the Giro d'Italia.
Oh, man, the Giro d'Italia. I love it.
They're only 4.5, 5 hour races. I mean, it's a quick, easy watch.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite. For anyone that's got better vision than me, that has two fully functioning eyes, you will see I am not at home. I am not bothering Rebecca. I can't complain about the air conditioning. I can't command the coffee.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Scream and shout. I know, it's crazy. I'm having to fend for myself. I am in Calgary, Alberta. Have you ever been to Calgary, Paul?
You know, I don't think I have been to Calgary. I don't think I have.
It's a great place.
Is it cool?
Yeah, it is, man. It's a great city. People are very, very friendly. The air's nice. Food's good. You know, it's a cool little city. No traffic. That's fantastic.
No, that's always good.
I might shoot a movie. First day on set tomorrow. Let's go.
Tell us a little bit about the diet and you know, some of the scenes you got to do, because you are looking looking trim.
Well, thank you, sir. Vanity is one hell of a motivator. Let's just put it like that. Tuesday, I got to have my shirt off. You know what I mean? So I've been living off protein shakes, 2 raw eggs. I've got no blender here, so just putting them in the plastic shaker, shaking them up. That's what I've been living off. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Having a little steak in the evening, 2 protein shakes through the day. Maybe a couple of cheeky vodkas in the evening, because a man's got to live his life. But as I say, Tuesday, top's coming off. Rebecca was like, Michael, what are you doing? You're 46, okay? You can't get in shape. I'm like, babe, I'm gonna at least try. You know what I mean?
Come on.
I know.
Come on. You're not 78 years old. You're still in your 40s. You absolutely can still get in great shape, and you look good. So
I might have a single ab popping through. I've never done so many sit-ups in my life. I swear to you. Hanging leg raises. I've been doing 500 a day, hanging leg raises, ab wheels, you name it. I've been doing it. But anyway, so yeah. Mikey B, the movie star, coming at you very, very soon. But we're not here to talk about that. We have UFC 316 going down this weekend. We're going to talk about that. We have Joe Pyfer, who's a part of 316, going up against Kelvin Gastelum. He'll be joining us in a little bit. But last night at the Apex, I was here in Canada. I'm laid in bed in my hotel room. I've had my protein shake and my raw eggs. I'm laid in bed. I'm watching the fights. There were some good fights, some decent action. And then no goddamn main event. Dude, I couldn't believe it.
I couldn't believe it. I went upstairs for a second. I had 2 of my friends here, and we were watching the fights. And we're just, you know, it's a fight night. I'm not calling it, so I'm in and out. So we're upstairs. We come back down, and my buddy Bill gets down first, and he's like, I hear him going, oh, shit, something's going on. Something's going on. And I came down. And then it's Brendan, Laura, and DC sitting there talking. And I'm like, oh, we're still trying to figure out if the main event's going to happen. And I'm like, if I ever hear that, the main event is not happening. If I hear you discussing and stalling, it's probably off. And I couldn't believe it. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, God damn, I've never seen that.
For the people that watch the UFC, when it comes to the 3 shot of the commentators, as we know, they call that a working man. That's the shot that they do. And they never go to a working man shot right as the main event's about to start. I'm laid on my bed. I'm reading the script. I'm trying to memorize my lines, and I'm watching the fights at the same time. I have one eye on the fights, or half an eye on the fights. But then it cuts to the working man shot, and I'm like, oh, shit. And then there was no music playing either. I'm like, something crazy is going on here. And, of course, Macy Barber, not medically cleared for the fight. Of course, she would have been medically cleared before the fight. right? That's just how it goes. Laura explained that she'd had some troubles in the past and she was hospitalized and stuff like that. And that is true, fair play. But that was in the past and she would have been cleared for this fight. And she didn't make weight for the fight. And Erin Blanchfield had some choice words at the post-fight presser. But the official line apparently was that she had a seizure backstage. What was your thoughts, Paul?
I initially thought that it was an emotional response or it was a panic attack. I think there's a lot of people that were thinking that kind of thing because the wording is very interesting because a seizure, if it's a legit seizure, then I really have my thoughts and prayers going out to her because that could be the end of a career, right? If you start having seizures and there's some really serious medical problem, this goes beyond her missing a main event. It's like, a real life change potentially. But I think until we hear more specifics, then I guess we got to almost just take them at a word that it was just some sort of seizure. But I mean, my initial reaction was that it was just, she had been out a little while. She has had a lot of issues leading up to this fight, then a weight miss. I just feel like we've seen fighters not make that walk before because it got overwhelming. Which is surprising when somebody's got so much experience, though. It's like
we weren't there. We don't know the situation. No. Apparently, she had a seizure. Now, it could have well been because online, what people are like on social media. They're very unforgiving, and no doubt there's a lot of people talking a lot of shit. And if they say a seizure, that could mean multiple things, But if it was legit, she went into some kind of seizure where she's like having a fit and stuff like that. Of course, she can't go out for a fight, But a seizure, it's kind of what defines a seizure. I'm not saying because I wasn't there. A panic attack is potentially a seizure. Nerves being overwhelmed. I don't know if that would fit a seizure, but I do know, and what it's like about to make that walk. Now, I'm not saying that she shit her pants, for want of a better expression, because she's made that walk many times before, so, but it was a big fight. It was a main event against Erin Blanchfield. I don't think necessarily, she was terrified to make the walk, but maybe on the night, I mean, we don't know. We're guessing here, but it is scary. I remember I was fighting at the MGM Grand. I forget who it was. And I looked at Perillo. I was like, why do I do this again? Why do I do this? Why do I put myself through this? You know what it's like. Yeah,
dude. Erin Blanchfield in the post-fight also said something that really struck a chord with me where she's like, I know it can be overwhelming. She was kind of talking about that. And every time before you make that walk, you kind of almost in the back of your head think, I hope something happens right now. Yeah. This doesn't have to happen. I don't know if I've ever had come in. Oh man, I've right before I walk, I'm like, hopefully some emergency happens in the building and the fight is just called off. And she said something like that. And she's like, but it's never actually happened to me where right before I'm about to walk out, the fight actually gets called off. But yeah, that's the thing. And you can't know. You can be as physically prepared. She could have been in the best shape of her life. I know she missed weight by a little bit, but still, you never know what those nerves and the circumstances and what personal life is going on right now. So it sucks for the UFC. It sucks for Erin Blanchfield. And if there is some sort of real medical issue, then it really sucks for Macy Barber beyond even missing her fight. Hopefully it's something she can get a hold of.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Listen, at the end of the day, the health is the most important thing. And we don't know. Yeah. We're just spitballing here and throwing things around and asking questions like anyone would do, Yeah. And of course, we work for the UFC, but we weren't working that. I'm in Canada, you're in Philly, you're wearing a cap that I wouldn't choose to wear, and you're playing basketball with your friends. We don't have the inside scoop, guys. We're just two guys sitting here. One's really buff, and Paul looks like he's about to go off and play I don't know what you look like.
One's got a really cool hat on, Michael. One's got a really cool hat on, is what you're trying to say.
I'm jealous.
You don't get all these medals, Michael, by not wearing cool hats, bro.
Yeah, exactly. And having the confidence to rock it. You know what I'm saying?
Only in my basement, though.
That's a very different thing. That's a special kind of man.
Only in my basement. Yeah.
That doesn't give a what other people think.
You know what? And that is one thing at 41, and having had a career in the U.S., I don't give a anymore. I walk out of this house wearing whatever the F I want. Now, if I'm on the road and I'm trying to be out to dinner, I'm not going to show up in the same outfit. But around here in Delaware County, I look good in Delaware County.
I would love to say that I'm the same way, but I'm not. And it's not that I care about what other people think. I don't. But I just feel better if I'm wearing some nicer stuff. And now I've just
do it.
I'm that's out in a minute. So I've got a tank top on. I'm doing a million things. But usually if I'm leaving the house, if I'm going out, I like to look good. I think maybe because we never had good clothes when I was a kid or something. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Maybe there's something going on psychologically, because I like now I'm not talking designer shit, but I like to wear some nice stuff. I like it to be clean. Like if shoes aren't spick and span and clean, I've got the cloth out. Rebecca's talking shit. I'm like, no, they need to be cleaner.
I would have given you a heart attack yesterday. I actually went down to the city to meet up with my friend Brian and my brother Tommy. I haven't seen him in a while. We haven't gone out. So I decided to go down there. We were going to go out to dinner. We ended up going out to get something to eat. And I was wearing like a clean pair of Vans. And I stepped in the biggest pile of mud and shit down in the city. It's been raining here a lot.
Dog shit.
No, thank God it wasn't dog shit. It was legit like dirt and grime, and it was all over the front white part of my shoe. And I was just like, you got it. Luckily, we had been leaving dinner, and I was going home to watch the fights anyway. But you'd have definitely had a napkin out at the bar afterwards and wiping them off.
When I was a kid, I remember I got a pair of shoes once though, and I really liked them. What were they called? Troop. No, you won't know. It's like a cheap brand in the UK from like 80s. I don't even think they were around very long. They were shit, but they looked like something I liked.
I have some Troops in my house right now, actually. Yeah.
They you guys ever called them Bobos, Harrington? Do you remember Bobos?
I don't
shoes Bobos. They make.
I had a purple and white pair of Troops. I thought they were cool as hell, but they were too clean. And I remember I was like dragging them in the dirt again. Giving too much of a shit what people think. Anyway, we went off a topic there, off on a tangent. I mean, there's not much more to say. The people in the Apex must have been pissed off as well.
So, and we're going to get to the bottom of it, because we know people that work in that building that were around that were in those locker rooms that were around that. Now, I'm granted they're not going to be walking around putting it on Twitter or putting it on social media, but in the coming week, I feel like we are going to get to the bottom of what happened. They can only hide it for so long. And if it's something serious, then I hope it does get held close to the heart and not let out if it's some kind of medical issue that she's really dealing with. And again, I almost hope that's not what really happened. I mean, I hope it's easier to overcome some mental hurdles, I think, than if she's having seizures. Like if she's having some sort of serious seizure, and seizures, like we talked about, are in all different forms. And obviously the most common one that people think of is an epileptic seizure, where you like really convulse and it's violent. But I have a cousin, a close cousin of mine, who gets, I forget the name of the seizure, but he's been dealing with it his whole life and has had to have multiple brain surgeries, and he zones out. He just gets lost, and you can tell, like, hey, yo, where are you? And he's having a seizure, but he doesn't convulse at all.
Yeah, my brother Conrad, he has a lot of seizures. He had a pickaxe stuck in his head when he was serving in the army. Yeah, so he has a lot of medical problems. He has a guide dog. He has a white stick. He's 99% blind. He'll never walk work again or anything like that. And his quality of life is really restricted. And sometimes he'll just go into these crazy seizures. And it's a weird one, because on one side of it, I hope that it wasn't that, for Macy's health, but then then the flip side of that means that maybe, because I'm not wishing that on her either, because that comes with consequences. If it's just like if you're backing out of a main event when you're when you're about to walk, there's gonna be consequences to that.
Yeah, that's not also good. You're right. I mean, there's really no better option. I mean, either one is pretty bad. If you've got a real medical emergency, obviously you're going to have to figure that out and put fighting on the back burner. But you're right. If you just don't show for a main event and you're there and you're healthy, you've already weighed in, well, hopefully healthy. But again, I mean, there's people online, cut her, and all this. People are getting vicious as the MMA fan base can be, but it's not good. I mean, you're getting put to way to the back of the line. You were on this big win streak. You know, you're finally getting back in the octagon after battling health and injury, and now if that's the case, which we don't know, but if so, you're right. There's a lot of consequences that'll come with that too. And
final word on this, because we've got a lot to talk about today. She's good as well.
Yeah,
she's a great fighter. She is. She's one of the most talented, and she's a nice girl. We've had her on the podcast before. Harrington, jump on, buddy. Harrington is in love with Macy Barber. Like, he's one of his favorites, and he's he voted her as one of the hottest chicks in all of MMA, which is fine. But what was your take, Harrington, when one of your favorite fighters didn't make the walk?
I mean, to be clear, I'm in love with my wife. I think Macy Barber is an attractive woman who's a very good fighter. Up until I was hanging out in the watch party in the BYM Discord with Brian.
Yeah.
And I was saying,
good man.
Right up until it got to that working man shot, I was like, yeah, dude, I think Macy Barber submits her. Like I was all in on the Macy Barber train. I guess, she didn't. It didn't work out that way, but I don't know. I mean, it was tough to watch. I was texting you guys saying, guys, is she going to get cut for that? I was one of those guys, Paul, and this isn't coming from a place of hate. It's coming from a place of, as you said, Michael, there are consequences to blowing up a main event.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Listen, I guess we'll find some clarity in the coming days. We do have a lot to talk about.
We got it, right? It's got to clear. Like, we got to get some sort of and what I saw was interesting too, and I was upstairs with Christine. Last thing I want to say on this, but I'm looking at social media, and she had been reposting people amping her up for the fight, like, oh, let's go Macy, let's go this. And again, I'm close with Macy. I've trained with her at Rufus Sport. I've talked to her over the years. She's asked me questions about stuff. She's a cool person. Yeah, but she was like sharing that stuff today, and it was after the fact, knowing that the fight never took place. Yeah, it was 5 hours ago. It said
today
or late last night. I thought
you meant before the fight, and I was going to say
some of it was coming up as like a couple hours ago. Yeah, of course, before the fight, but it was stuff about her pre-fight, but posting it to. I'm like, and I know she's probably just being nice and reposting, but like I almost want to.
Yeah,
I don't want to reach. Obviously, it's way too soon to reach out to somebody about that kind of stuff.
Listen, hopefully, here's what I will say, because, dude, it's a tough way to make a living, and it takes incredible courage, And it sounds like I'm now making excuses for it, but it is hard, and this controls everything. We always say that, and that moment when you're about to walk out of the locker room. That is the point where it can break you, where you are thinking, shit, you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. You've got your whole career. You've trained your whole life for this. This is your identity. And it all comes down to this moment. And those moments they're incredibly difficult. So regardless of what happened, there's no judgment. Yeah. But if it is the lesser favorable of the two options, then I think there will be consequences, but that shall remain to be seen.
Does this lead to the UFC now booking backup fighters for main events on Fight Night?
No, probably not. But we got to move on. Yeah. We've got a lot of shit to talk about. Right, today's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp, that are here to help your mental health. Mental health awareness is growing, but there's still progress to be made. 26% of Americans who participated in a recent survey said that they have avoided seeking mental health support due to fear of judgment. When people hesitate to get help, it doesn't just affect them, it impacts families, workplaces, and entire communities. And if you are sitting there listening to this right now and you think, listen, I do need help, I do have an issue, I do drink too much, I have substance abuse issues, I have anxiety, depression, whatever it is, if you're thinking about it, then really give it a go. Give therapy a go and get started with BetterHelp. BetterHelp has over 10 years of experience matching people with the right therapist from a diverse network of more than 30,000 licensed therapists with a wide range of specialities. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide, and you can easily switch therapists at any time with no extra cost. So Super easy. You do it all from your phone. And all you got to do is go to betterhelp.com/believe to get 10% off your first month. That is betterhelp.com/believe to get 10% off your first month. Because we've got Joe Pyfer jumping on in about 5 minutes.
Yeah,
We've been talking about Jon Jones, Tom Aspinall forever. We've given our takes on it constantly.
And it's still there, baby.
Okay? We're sick of talking about it. However, Jon Jones, if you've got this video, Harrington, Brian, please cue it up. Jon Jones, as we know, is in Thailand. He's living his best life. He's riding around on the back of motorcycles. He's sniffing people's hair. He's having a good time. He's living his best life. Great. He's at the seminar. He's doing a Q&A. He was asked about the Tom Aspinall fight. Perfect timing, Brian. Let's go.
When are you fighting Tom?
I was waiting for it.
Governor.
and Tom, we all got a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. They're one of the biggest organizations in sports, and right now Tom and I have agreed to wait for the UFC to make their announcements. So I legally can't really talk about it.
So
When are you fighting Tom?
he legally can't talk about it.
Yeah.
But that sounds, and this is what we'll talk about now, it sounds like the fight's happening, just waiting on an official announcement. Your take, Mr. Felder.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that's definitely looking on the bright side of things. If that's what's going down, that we're just waiting for them to figure it all the extra bits out and then make their own big announcement. But what if that announcement is Tom is fighting so and so for the official belt, and Jon Jones is just Jon Jones in it and going and saying, "F it, I'm out."
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Oh shit. I didn't even
That's
think
the
of
dark
that.
side.
That's
The other option.
That's the announcement. The announcement is that he's decided to walk away, and they're going to announce him until gone. Because that was what Helwani said. He said that Jon Jones asked for a crazy amount of money, and as much of a little bellend that Helwani is, you know, he does have his nose to the ground, and he does find stuff out.
Oh, he definitely gets some insight.
Yeah. And he said quite adamantly that he heard on good authority that Jones asked for a crazy amount of money. We know that's true. Apparently the UFC met that and kind of called his bluff, and he still thought, oh shit, because he thought that might be his way out of fighting him, and then now he's decided to walk away.
Wow.
I'm inclined to believe that the fight's gonna go ahead, but you think it's not?
I don't think. I'm just saying. I think there's also people need to be prepared that it's not what we want to hear. That there is where he is done, because I'm hearing all these same rumors that
you're hearing things that you don't want to say on a podcast that you're going to tell me afterwards. Is that true or false?
No, that's false. That is not true. Okay. I wish I had. Because
bro, share it.
It'd have been shared. It would have been shared, because I'd be up here talking around it and trying to be like,
exactly.
I don't
tiptoeing
know.
that fine line.
I don't know for sure. But I'm with you, man. I really hope that's it. Like I hate that I'm still talking about it. I hate that I still care, but I do. I want to see that fight. I want to see that fight happen.
150,000 people, I think, now have signed the petition to have him stripped.
To strip.
Now, in terms of the BYM, there's only 4 people in this population. Let's throw it to the panel. Harrington and Brian, jump on. What do you think? Is Jon Jones, is the announcement that the fight is going to go ahead? Or is the announcement, as Paul suggests, gently, just putting it out there in the ether, that he's going to walk away? Harrington, what say you?
Yeah, I think we're getting an announcement. Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane for the undisputed heavyweight championship.
Yeah.
I've just done a whole video on this. I've got to change the video, man, because
what do you know? Maybe you're right. Right. You could be right.
Brian?
Yeah, I think this is just Jon trolling Tom, just trying to get under his skin for no other reason than to do it. I don't think he has any plans to fight him.
You don't think he has any plans to fight him?
No, sir.
Yeah, what the dude, I'm starting to think that he doesn't, Michael.
Well,
I'm starting to think that he doesn't have
would you sign?
Doesn't care.
I mean, let's ask Hamilton and Brian. It's so hard for us. Would you sign the petition?
Again?
The best one-liner. Brian always with the one-liners. Again.
I'll tell you what I'm not signing.
Spit it out.
The counter petition to keep Jon Jones with the belt, which currently has fewer.
Oh, he's gone.
Damn.
He wanted to spill the beans. He wanted to share it, but he just couldn't. Yeah,
Well, I'll finish that for him. The petition for Jon Jones to keep his belt currently has 829 signatures.
Oh wow! Not almost getting close to 1,000.
No, but he's been ratioed to the max.
Oh, bad. Yeah, big time.
That is-
And listen. And I think if these negotiations don't work out and the fight doesn't happen, yes, I think you have to strip him of the belt and make this next fight for Tom move the division forward.
Yeah,
for the undisputed.
Without a shadow
Without
of
a doubt.
I mean, that's simple as that. We're joined by the one and only Joe Pyfer. Joe, let me ask you real quick before we talk about your stuff. Good to see you, brother, by the way. Thanks for jumping on. Bro. Jon Jones, if he doesn't fight Tom Aspinall, are you signing that petition to strip him?
Yeah, because I think if Jon Jones doesn't fight Tom Aspinall, he doesn't deserve to be the heavyweight champion anymore because I think it's basically retirement, and I don't see anybody else who he would actually fight. So I hate to say the word strip just because, I think Jon Jones is an amazing fighter.
Yeah.
Let's go, weak boy. Pull that shit.
What's going on? Who are you talking to?
You working on a car, Joe?
It's my, you know, Bobby?
Yeah, what's up, dude?
Yeah, so I'm helping him teaching him to change his brakes. So,
nice.
Some real man shit, Joe.
That's some man
real
shit.
man shit. Useful, blue collar, dirty hands.
You're changing the brakes. I mean, I know how to change a tire, but changing brakes, that's out of my pay grade.
Yeah, that's legit. That's legit.
I can do everything. The only thing I can't do is rebuild a transmission, or I would say build the bottom end of a block because I don't have the machining tools to do it. But I can build a whole motor. And I enjoy doing car stuff. So,
how long would it take you to change a set of brakes on a car?
All four, like rotors and pads.
Sure.
I'd say about an hour and a half.
Yeah, you're a better man than me, Joe.
Joe,
Yeah,
is this something you trained in? Was this something you like? Who taught you all this kind of stuff, and how long have you been that involved in like mechanic stuff?
So I always loved cars, man. I just never had the outlet for it. And then when I broke my elbow on the Contender, I had a friend at the time who had a speed shop, and it was failing, and he needed some mechanics, and I just kind of went there with my own stuff and started building my own shit, watching YouTube tutorials. So I'm a backyard mechanic, but I learned how to do a lot of shit there, and he had all the tools for me to learn. So I basically just self-taught, man.
See, that's the cool thing, isn't it? You can learn so much shit on YouTube these days. Like back in the day when I started fighting, I remember me and a bunch of training partners trying to figure out how to escape a triangle, trying to figure it out. I swear to God. Now you can just go on YouTube and find a million ways. Real quick before we get onto the fight stuff. You go off, you have a legendary fight career. Joe Pyfer, the welterweight, middleweight champion of the world, whichever one it is.
Middleweight.
You have middleweight. You have the money. A lot of people go for Lamborghinis and shit like that. I think your dream car would be like a muscle car. What?
Dodge Viper ACR. Amazing. It's a V10. I don't know if they make V12s, but it's a V10 Dodge Viper ACR. It's got the big wing on the back. It's uncomfortable as shit to drive. But I mean, if you've ever watched the Pennzoil commercial and you don't know what that car is, watch the Pennzoil commercial. There's a yellow and a black one, and they're drifting, and it looks amazing. I've driven all the Ferraris. I've driven all the Lambos. Yes.
Let me ask you, John. Paul, you can ask a question after this. I've got to ask this.
No, dude.
Would you drive that car wearing Paul Felder's hat?
So,
Come on, Joe.
I think he rocks it. I'm a ugly. I'm not built like fucking Paul over there. So I would wear nothing. I would drive that car butt ass naked. I don't care. I'll drive it with whatever. I don't care. As long as I can drive that bitch and slam gears, I'm good.
I think you should. If you get a car like that, you've done things right, and you should be driving it naked.
Hell yeah,
do it up.
Jack it up a little bit. Yeah, no, hell yeah, I would love that. But that's my dream car if I was to buy one. like I said, I've driven all the other cars, man. I can't justify it because they're uncomfortable. I'm a tall dude, and yeah, I'm not really a big fan of the Lambos. I think they're sick, but just for that, that's good.
Yeah, so like talking to you now though, Joe, we wouldn't think that you're going to be competing on pay-per-view in under a week from now. You're just chilling, you're working on the car. I love that. I mean, obviously it's a nice distraction, it's relaxing, it gives you something to do with your spare time and stuff, but that is, I mean, a lot of people right now are doing last minute prep. They're doing meditation and breath work and all that shit, you know, but you're there getting the hands dirty.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, listen, my biggest thing, I realized I've been saying the past week, like I told Paul when he reached out about the interview, I was like, I'm deleting Instagram this week because I don't care what people say, but when I go on Instagram and it's nothing but negative, like I'll see positive and it doesn't make me feel any type of way. But if I read a negative comment, it makes me feel some type of way because I just want to be like, you're a pussy, dude. Like you're sitting at home and you're a fat and you don't know what it takes to walk in there. You don't know the risk we take. You don't know the preparation we have. You don't know the weight cut. My biggest fight is the weight cut. So, you know, it puts me in a negative mindset. And honestly, I don't need to see what he's saying. I don't need to see what people think or what they say. Like I've built a beautiful life for myself. And, you know, I get to fight in the best organization in the world. And all I have to worry about is me, man. Like at the end of the day, I think this fight is a layup for me, and I just need to be focused for 15 minutes, and I'll outclass this dude anywhere. You know, I know he's a vet, and I know he's tough, but I can beat his ass for 15 minutes. I'm not just a one-trick pony. I'm not just a one-style guy. Like, I can grapple. I think it's underrated. And I think a lot of his film prep is going to be off my Jack Hermanson fight, where I had walking pneumonia the whole camp, and then I had 2 staph infections, antibiotics. Like, I could go on with what wasn't right. You know, it was my first new contract, and I needed money. I couldn't say no to my first main event. And, you know, whatever. I lost a 5-round fight. And it's not like I got finished. I didn't get rocked. So I think if he comes out and his style is to try to wrestle me and get me tired, like, bro, I'm ready for anything this weekend. So I'm just thankful I have the opportunity and I get to actually fight a guy like KG. I have no ill will towards him, but you know, I'm not a stepping stone, and I'm not one of these kids that doesn't believe in himself. So I know I got the bigger power, and I just need to stay focused. That's it. 15 minutes of hell. That's all.
Yeah, Joe, how is the body feeling? I know staff and things like that, man, they can be difficult to get over, and you seem to be good though. You look good. I saw you in the gym this past week and stuff. And do you like almost feeling like you maybe got a little chip on your shoulder with how people are coming at you? Do you think of this as an opportunity for you to kind of just shut everyone up a little bit, Joe?
1,000%, 1,000%. It's not going to shut anybody up. There's always going to be somebody to talk shit, you know.
And that's
Jon
the thing,
Jones
man.
Never
it's
lost
not
a fight, but
yeah.
Jon Jones hasn't lost a fight. Khabib hasn't lost a fight. You know, we can argue that Jon Jones lost to Dominic Reyes, whatever. But at the end of the day, people will find imperfection in everything, and you know, they're the guys that aren't the ones risking their health and their life and doing what we do. I don't have a problem if fighters talk shit to each other, because at the end of the day, we can get in there and handle it. But when it's people that are just losers running their mouth, it irritates me. But I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing this for my team, and I'm doing this for the family I want to build.
And that's that. Exactly. For his family, he's trying to build it, and he's got to build the brakes on the car. He'll be back in a second, I think. Maybe he's got a phone call or something like that. I love. Do you want to just give us a 2-shot, Brian, while we wait for him to come back? I hope he does come back. I love the chip on the shoulder. Yeah. And I was just going to say to him there, and we'll wait for him to join, as I said. I understand there's a lot of dickheads on social media. You know, there's a lot of people with opinions that are negative, and they say a lot of nasty shit. Here he is. What's up, Joe? I was just going to say, it's all right, buddy.
My phone, man.
You're a popular guy.
Yeah. I want to do this for me. I want to do this for the family I want to build. And trust me, I'd be a liar to say that once I do what I got to do this weekend, it will feel good to quiet some people. But, you know, this is a fight game, and, you know, I could lose the fight and people still would talk shit. I could win the fight and everybody will say I beat a washed, you know, on the downward trajectory as far as performances. KG. But, you know, this guy is young. He's 32, 33. He's not that old. I think he's had a lot of miles on the clock, even though he hasn't been knocked out. I've heard he's been hurt in the gym a bunch of times. And, you know, it is what it is. But, yeah, man, those guys. I hate people that sit there and run their mouth but don't have shit to say to my face. Like a Jeremy Stevens.
Why? What did Stevens say? Go on. At the press conference.
Yeah, I was having some fun, and he said we're all retards and this shit and all kinds of crap. And so when I was like, yo, you're if you don't like what I got to say, like you're like 1-9 in the UFC, dude, in your last like 8 fights. Like I don't want to hear shit, or your last 10 fights, whatever it was. And you know, he's talking shit on the guy that was Eddie Alvarez, who built himself from nothing. So at the end of the day, I knew Eddie since I was 5 years old. So I said some shit. And when I was like, if you don't like it, you can say something to me. Like, we can get it. And when I was in the back, you know, obviously I'm much bigger than him. So it's not like it's going to be a real fight. In the back, he literally didn't say a word to me. He wouldn't look at me. Me and Sean were right next to each other. He was like 5 feet from us. Didn't look at me. Wouldn't acknowledge me. No nothing. Then he goes on. He was like, I looked right at you. And I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
But you know, there's some guys that are really good fighters. They're great fighters, but they're not tough guys.
Listen, let me give you some advice, though.
Not about that shit outside.
Listen, I was hated beyond belief, okay? I used to, anytime I came to America, I would have people driving down the street, leaning out of cars, you Bisping and shit like that. I walked into an arena in Anaheim and the entire arena all booed me. This was like 2011, I think, right? I was hated and I just leaned into it. And I was like, well, do you know what? You all. And I just, as I say, and it helped me. And then eventually people were like, you know what, this guy's all right. So ignore them. It's social media. Yeah. You're the one doing it. People are going to talk shit. The sport's popular. So you got fans. Fans are entitled to their opinions. And if you don't like it, just block them. Block.
I never had a problem with you. You became world champion and nobody thought you could. So them all. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't care. My thing is, if you're going to talk shit, come say it to my face, and then we can figure out who the tough guy is. So
but you can't do that to every little dickhead on the internet. So
I can't. Exactly. That's why I deleted the app. So I
don't delete it.
You just got to build cars, yo.
Just for a week. Yeah.
Knock people out, build cars, drive cool shit, and live your life, man.
Yeah.
You know?
The legendary power of Joe Pyfer, though. Tell us what round are you putting?
Hold on.
Where are you putting Kelvin to sleep?
Before he even says anything, I have like played spar with Joey, and to his credit, he was literally being nice to me, Michael. When I was it's one of the times I came back, I was like, I think I'm gonna fight again. And I'm in there, I'm moving around with like the little guys, I'm feeling good, and then I get around with Joey, and he just like touches me. And I literally like my legs got a little jiggly, and then I'm trying to like kill him, and he's just jabbing me. I can tell you, it's just touching. The dude's got heavy hands, man.
Thank you, man.
But now you tell us about it, Joey.
Yeah,
because I felt it.
I think I beat him inside 2 rounds, man. I think the biggest thing for me is I need to get my range down. I need to get my distance down in this fight. And, you know, he wants you to overcommit on shots. So he's banking on me throwing big shots so he can fall back and then throw his 1-2. And then obviously he's got his check hook to his big left hand, but he really dips his head a lot and throws like big shots. And I really don't see him. I could be completely wrong, but I really don't see him wanting to stand with me early. I think his game plan as to why he brought in like wrestlers is to wrestle me early, try to get me tired, get my arms pumped, and then try to, you know, put a pace on. That's what I think he has in his head, which I think is great for me, because that means he has to get close. And, you know, Kelvin Gastelum's out wrestling guys like D-Rod. He's not out wrestling guys like me. And I'm going with some really, really, really good grapplers, obviously in Sean. And we got a couple other really good Russian guys up in our gym that are really good at wrestling, that are just 10 times better than he is, just plain and simple. But I think inside 2 rounds, man, I really think once I get my distance and I'm able to touch him, I'll keep being able to hit those shots and pick them apart and then land that one big one. So I think inside 2 rounds, man.
Let me ask you this. Obviously, you're relatively at the start of your UFC career. So the motivation is there, the desire is there, the hunger's all there. Gastelum, still a young guy, but he's been around for a long time. It was about 6 years ago he had that legendary fight with Israel Adesanya, and I'm not talking shit about him, even though he construes everything that I say as talking shit about him. He loves to talk shit about me on Instagram and in interviews, but so what? But there's a lot of losses. Do you think the passion is still there for Kelvin, or do you think at this point he's just kind of showing up for a payday?
I think he's getting paid so much probably at this point. I don't know his earnings, but I think he's getting paid so much at this point. He doesn't care who he fights. He's just, he's a dog. He'll fight anybody. But I'm preparing for the Kelvin, that fought Izzy.
Sure.
I don't even want to say the Kelvin that fought you, because at the end of the day, it's like he caught you, but I don't think he was.
Bro, I shouldn't have been in that octagon. I'd just been choked out 2 weeks earlier. You know what I mean?
Man.
I had no business being there.
But this is what I'm saying. It's like, you're a world champion. Like he got a good win over you, whatever. Like, but I'm already 5 fights in, and I think me and him have the same amount of knockouts. So like in my head, the only way this dude can beat me is knocking me out. And I don't see that happening. I've never been knocked out. I've never even been hit where I was wobbled. I've been hit where my shit was wrong, and I'm still fine, but I've never been wobbled. I've never been knocked out. And I don't think a 70-pounder coming up, I'm not saying he can't, but I don't think it's a high chance. I have good defense, and I have really good distance management, man. So, but yeah, I mean, to answer your question, I don't think his hunger's the same. I know he said something in his interview last time about, he wants to make another title run, and it starts with me, but out of here, dude. I'm making my title run. I'm not making the money he's making. I'm here to hurt this, and this isn't a game to me. And I know a lot of people are like, he thinks Joe Pyfer talks like he's undefeated and all this shit. Like, bro, that's the mentality I have. Like, yesterday's yesterday. Right now, I'm better than I was when I fought Mark. I'm better than I was when I fought Jack. I'm better than I was when I made my debut. Like, if you watch the trajectory of my career, I do keep getting better and better and better. My problem has been I don't really get a whole lot of cage time because I get people out of there. So, yeah, man, I think I don't think he's the same Kelvin. And if you look at his last performance, which I think was D-Rod, I thought it looked terrible. As far as how he used to look, it wasn't, obviously the fight wasn't terrible, but it was like, bro, you're out wrestling D-Rod. The guy's a pure boxer, has no wrestling defense at all. So, yeah. And he missed weight by a lot. So I hope he misses weight for this one. I want a chunk of his purse so I could get an idea how much he makes.
Send some food to his room randomly while you guys are out there.
Nah. See, that's the other thing too. Like we're doing a press conference, and I'm like, I wonder if he'll talk shit. I don't really see him as like a guy that talks shit, but I don't know. We'll see.
He can talk a little shit. He's got like a smugness in his shit talk.
Yeah,
style.
He's got that dumbass smirk on his face. It drives
me nuts. The dumbass smirk.
When we faced off, like he looked me up and down, and I'm like, bro, what is that supposed to be intimidating, dog? Like, look at your physique, dude. What do you like? This ain't about physique. This is about skill. Like, and I'm not writing him off because of how he's built, but he looked me up and down, like what have you fought bigger? Cool, I don't give a but you ain't fought somebody that hits as hard as me. Yeah. Listen, Izzy put him down with light shots, touch shots, bing, and he fell. So all I'm saying is let me touch that chin. Let me get one clean shot. And if I don't find it, then I can wrestle my ass off too. So.
All right. Well, that seems like a great way to end it there, Joe.
Yeah,
all the best next week, man. We'll let you get back to working on the cars. Have a hell of a fight. Yeah. I'm looking forward to a knockout.
I'm gonna go up with my wife, Joe. So I'll be there. I think. Yeah.
Hey, I'll find you. Good luck, man. Bisping, you gonna be there?
No, I'm in Canada right now.
Mike's working on a movie.
Oh, so yeah.
Well, I've always had respect for you, man, and I've always had respect for you, and I've always enjoyed your commentating. I know that has nothing to do with this, but you're great. You guys are great commentators. Paul, you as well. And I've never had a problem with Michael Bisping. So I think you've surprised a lot of people how well you speak and how well you do your job, man. So
I was expecting a but. I've never had a problem with you.
No but. Listen, if I don't like somebody, I say it. I'm pretty I'm unapologetically myself, and I think that's what people misconstrue too. I've always been the same Joe Pyfer since I was a amateur, and I'm the same guy now. It's just everybody wanted to say I was a hype train and all this shit. So they could.
Well, dude, sometimes they get snippets of you, right? They get only snippets of you, and now, you're fully getting to develop, and you're gonna have ups and downs like this, and it's all part of the game. And I think you're just getting more eyeballs on you. You're still in a big position this coming weekend with a legit guy. I mean, you get to fight a guy like Kelvin. He's a guy in the division that you go out there, you put a guy like that out, you're doing good things. So just
changes my life,
man.
And Joe. Never change, because that's what people, if they're talking shit now, that's what they're going to grow to love about you, that you are yourself. And how good is that, by the way? How good does it feel to be able to walk through life being yourself? Because so many people are
that's why I chose the
so
sport,
many people come up with bullshit. They pretend to be somebody that they're not, right? Be a man. Be yourself. Speak your mind.
Yeah. Well, that's why I chose the sport, man. I didn't want to work for somebody that could tell me what to do or treat me some type of way unfairly. And I did do those jobs, and I hated it. And I always had a problem with being bossed around. So I took control of my own shit, and here we are. So that's why when they were all upset about what I said down in Mexico, I'm like, hey, I ain't got a problem with Mexicans. I just said, that place, it's a shithole. I'll never fight there. It's not for me. I don't have nothing towards the people, and everybody wanted to be on my dick about it, so they can still suck my dick. Is how I feel.
Exactly. Joe, we'll let you go, man. All the best next weekend, buddy.
Hey, USA
Thanks,
up
dude.
in this bitch, boy. Let's go.
USA. You're both American.
All right. Nah, he's half, dog. We don't claim his ass. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right, later, Joe. See you, buddy. All right, today's episode is sponsored by Cash App, which is the fast, easy, and safe way to now send money to a friend. If someone owes you money, they can send the money to you. You want to give money to your kids? Boom, Cash App. Someone owes you $50, boom, Cash App. You want to save some cash? You can do that with Cash App. Cash App is the safe, easy, and fast way to send, receive, and transfer money to family and friends. Super easy to get started. All you do is enter your phone or the email and some other basic information. No bank account needed. There is no waiting around for days. It's your money. You shouldn't have to wait. It is secure and safe. Cash App has your back. If you're about to send money to a sketchy account or a scam, a warning pops up, so that way you feel more relaxed knowing that Cash App has your back. And certainly in this modern day and age where cash is kind of getting minimized, you need Cash App. You need a way to send and receive cash, and the best way of doing that is with Cash App. And let's be honest, in this day and age, sometimes you just don't have cash on you, but you still need to buy stuff. You still want to send some money. If someone owes you money, you want to receive it. So gone are the days where they say, oh, I haven't got the cash on me. All you need is the Cash App, and they will send you the cash. Oh, by the way, you can also buy crypto using Cash App. And by the way, right now, for a limited time, new Cash App users can use our exclusive code, BELIEVE, for some additional cash. For real, there is no catch. Just download the Cash App and sign up. Use our exclusive referral code, as I said, BELIEVE, in your profile. Send $5 to a friend within 14 days, and you will receive $10 dropped right into your account. Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App. I love his energy, man.
He's nuts. He's nuts. Yeah, I got to see him and Petrosky sparring, and it was pretty funny to see them. And then there's something happened. I won't say what happened, but Petrosky's like, "What the we were talking about?" He said 40%. He looked around at one point. He goes, "He said 40%." He's in there helping him, and he gets smacked with this good shot. I mean, and it wasn't like they weren't going all out or anything, but it's getting close to fight week. You know what I mean?
But that's
so Joey's definitely got that. Like, it's hard to hold it back. So,
but in sparring, that's how it always is, isn't it? Like anytime I sparred, and I would genuinely mean this, I'm like, I'm tired, I'm beat up. I'm like, okay, we'll just go nice and light today. Just Then you get warmed up. And it's not necessarily that I take a shot and I'm going to land one back, but I'm like, no, now I'm feeling good. Let's make this a real sparring session. I'm not that I was used to be a dick, but the people that I was sparring with, they enjoyed it as well.
I can't say I was the same exact way when I sparred. It became a fight quite a bit, but not like within reason. But yeah, I mean, there's sparring rounds where we're throwing heat.
That's how you get ready for a fight, though.
That's how you get ready for a fight. If I'm fighting freaking Dan Hooker and Edson Barboza, you don't think I'm getting in there and like getting after it? I got to get ready for that.
One of my coaches used to say, you got to train the way that you're going to fight. Because otherwise, if you get in there and fight a certain way, but you've been going half speed in training, you're going to get tired. You're going to run out of gas. You're not going to know what it feels like when your lungs are burning and you're tired and you're in the 5th round. You're like, and you've been going hell for leather the whole time. If you're just pity pattering, I mean, I know, we've got to look after the brains and there's more science behind it and all, but
it's a balance. It's definitely a balance. It's tough, but you're right. You've got to get something like that in your regimen or you're not going to be ready, because it's times 10 when you're actually in there. No matter how hard you spar, you know how it is. As soon as you're in there and it's the late rounds and you're in the 4th or 5th round, it's like, holy shit. I can't even breathe in here. So you can't even simulate it, but you better be damn near trying or you're not going to be able to get through it. That's where you see guys gas, right? That's when you see guys gas. When they hit that point, it's like, well, this is what you've been working for to be able to push through this.
Well, we
talk about it all the time.
I use this comparison when I'm commentating sometimes, and it's so true. Think about it when you're hitting a bag. If you're hitting a bag and you're just and you're just having fun and you're just going away, whatever, 50%, you can go all day, you can put together nice combinations. But when you're really putting it in on the heavy bag, you can get gassed real quick when you're going 100%. And what do you think you're doing in a fight when you're going 100%? You're trying to knock this guy out with every shot. And then all of a sudden you're like, I don't understand. Why did I get so tired?
I'm so tired. Yeah.
Because you haven't done
And then you're
training.
wrestling. Then you get taken down. Holding your breath, trying to get up. And then you get up. And the first 4 shots you throw, you're like, and the first few minutes of a fight, that dry feeling when you just know you're like, Mike Perry did it best when he yelled at his corner for them to do it. Like, you got to get in there. You got to get in there.
No, that was great.
It's so true. That nervous energy. Oh,
we'll use this as a segue into our predictions. I'm assuming you and I both have Joe Pyfer beating Kelvin Gastelum. Brian and Harrington, though. Do either of you think that Kelvin Gastelum beats Joe Pyfer?
I do not.
Okay.
I think we're all in agreement here.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys.
He's often got a crazy.
I don't think he does this time.
Listen, I've been a fan of Kelvin Gastelum since The Ultimate Fighter. I've been following this guy's career since he was 19 years old. But I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot of guys Sunday morning looking up YouTube car tutorials trying to be Joe Pyfer.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm jealous, man. I wish I knew how to fix shit like that.
Yeah, I can't do any of that. I
just don't have the patience.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't.
Girl, I've always envied that. I'm definitely not the man's man when it comes to that, to be honest. I mean, Christine is more of the like a handy person around the house than I am.
It's pathetic. Rebecca does all that stuff around the house.
Yeah.
She does. She anyway, we've spoke about this.
And I even do the dishes.
So, speaking
not according to Christine, you can't. Go on, Brian.
Speaking of shit that you guys definitely don't do, I saw this video while you guys were talking to Joe. This is Bryce Mitchell's new training technique.
Let's have a look. What is that?
That is a
I believe that's a pig.
Oh, it's a pig. Yeah,
it's Rocky style training.
That's Rocky style. Well, I forget who it was talking to Joe Rogan, who said that the average American pig is now fatter than the average American person. So they could just be a person hanging upside down, you know?
Yeah, wow. Yeah.
Bryce
that would be like a throwback to Diego Sanchez and that guy, Fabia, training together. You remember that? When he hung him upside down?
With a blindfold on?
I was just talking about that guy with my buddy yesterday. Face. Yeah, you weren't there calling the fight on Fight Island when he was talking shit to all the commentators and producers, Zach and everybody. Yeah. And we were all like, what the f- are you talking about?
I don't think I was at that one, but I believe that you were the one that kind of stood up and like spoke your mind and gave him some shit.
What do you talk? Like, what do you think we're in charge of painting this narrative of you two as the commentators to the media? He just had this crazy theory that we were the ones that were getting all these articles written about how their relationship is weird and all this kind of stuff. And that's all we talked about in the fighter meeting. It's like, He took over. He talked for Diego.
Yeah, exactly. My back's killing, man. All this training I'm doing, it's not easy on an old body. All right.
A few more eggs.
I'm going to, buddy. I got another 4 on the schedule today.
What kind of eggs do you buy for that? You buy like particular eggs?
I'm in Canada and I don't do the shopping. So I just look for, what are they, pasture raised, free range, whatever.
Yeah, those are good ones. Yeah.
All right. Sean O'Malley makes his return. Last time we saw him was September against Merab Dvalishvili. He was unsuccessful. Merab dominated him for the most part, picked him up, took him down, kissed him on the shoulder, talked shit to Tim Welsh. Dominated the fight, took the belt, went off, beat Umar Nurmagomedov, defended the belt.
Looked good.
Sean O'Malley had a torn labrum, had surgery.
Yeah.
Said that affected his training. It would, and he did have surgery. Now Sean's back, people talking shit, saying, why is he getting the immediate rematch? Well, Merab, if you look at his record, he's beaten most of the contenders. Yeah, there's Corey Sandhagen out there, okay, who probably needs a shot. But I get it. Sean's a star, right?
I get it.
But
I get it.
Sometimes certain styles, they've just got your number, man. They've just got your number. And Sean O'Malley is incredible, right? I'm a fan of the guy. And I know he's just like Joe. He's got rid of his social media. He's changed his phone number because normally I text him and he jumps on the show. He's very good with his time. He's been very gracious to this podcast and came on many times. But he changed his number as well. Stopped smoking weed. We know all the changes. Obviously taking this seriously because he knows if he loses 2 times in a row to Merab, maybe his time as champion could be over. And I think, just to give you some analysis, did we talk about this last time? I think he's just kind of been a victim of his own success because of his own style, the speed that he has. He was able to stand out there with the longer reach, pick people apart from a distance. But when Merab is just getting in your face the whole time, that style doesn't work.
And I just also, how much of the wrestling could have changed in this amount of time? You know, that's the other thing to really look at because Merab had another fight with Umar where he was doing all that same kind of stuff. He's fresher. You know, I just think that's a big gap to overcome the way he was dominated in the wrestling department. And I don't think that's going to get fixed. I love that he stopped smoking weed. I love that he's more focused. I hope it's more competitive. I hope he lands some shots. But I think Merab is going to do a similar thing.
Well, every fight's different.
And I just can't bet against Merab anymore. Like I've counted that guy out in a lot of other fights, and he always just freaking finds a way. So I'm sticking with him.
All right, so you've got Merab. I mean, the thing is, Sean is sniper-like with his striking. I mean, when he fought Chito Vera, and Chito, it wasn't the best performance, but a lot of that was because of Sean O'Malley. He looked, that was like he didn't get the finish just because Cheeto's so tough, but that was like his showcase performance. Like, you know, if he's trying to show people, show me what you can do. Okay.
This is my style.
Finishes are cool. Knockouts are great. Yeah. But that's like a perfect
just piecing people up
demonstration of what he's capable of.
Once he finds that distance and finds that rhythm, and that's what he's really got to do, right? I think he knows he's got to be more aggressive himself because oftentimes you fight these wrestler guys, you're threatened by the takedown, you keep backing up. You're actually just going right into his game plan where then all he's got to do is keep faking you. And that's what Merab did. He did enough striking that he could feint, and then he's in on a single leg, and he'll die on that cross. He'll kill himself to get that takedown, and he's relentless. But if he can sneak a few combos in early, like off the bat, touch him, and he starts dribbling and doing all his shit, it could be a better fight for him, I think. But he's got to land
go forward. He's got, I mean, to your point, a similar style. Leon Edwards, you know, against Bilal, does the same.
Can't back up.
Stands back, allows people to do that. Look at what Jack did. Went forward. I think we had the same conversation last week. If so, I apologize, everyone. It's giving me deja vu. But yeah, he's got to go forward. He's got to be the aggressor. He's got to hunt down Bilal Muhammad. Sorry, Merab Dvalishvili. He's got to hunt down Merab. He's got to lower his base and he's got to go on the attack. Because if he stands there and just waits, Merab's going to have a field day. He's going to shoot. He's going to
do all
fast as lightning. He's going to pick him up. He's going to slam him. He's going to mock him because that's what he does. Yeah, he's going to wave, and it's going to be embarrassing. So he's going to
jumping jacks in between rounds.
You know what? I'm coming.
He's got to sting him. He's got to sting him because you know how that immediately, if you can just pop and get that distance and start to get that rhythm against a wrestler, then you start to see their patterns a little bit, and you start to be able to find head. I think if he's got good uppercuts for this and can get him to, he's got to time that shot. I think if he can work on the uppercut and sting that jab, man, he's got to get that jab in his face.
He said that he kind of like manufactured some hatred towards.
Yeah, I saw him say something like that.
Yeah. And then this time he's going in with a clear mind. And I understand that because I used to be the same way, right? A lot of fighters are different. I used to somehow, some way, I'd take it personal because I'm like, this guy's going to fight me. You know what I mean? And fighting's a very personal thing. You're going to try and beat me up. So instantly they were the enemy. Now, of course, in hindsight and maturity, you think that's not the best way. You need a little bit of that. But for the most part, you want your mind to be calm, clear, collected, GSP and Anderson Silva-like, But I like to get mad and I like to crush him in the face and I like to be emotional. Do you think, A, that will help him? And B, I need a story from Paul Felder when you were mad and pissed off at one of your opponents. Question A first.
Okay. Yes. I think for his kind of coming at it with a clearer mind and not being emotional or trying to make beef, I think for Sean, I think it will help him. I think he got caught up in being the big Showtime, everything, all the hair, all the smoking weed and doing all that. And I think he's realizing that he's got to get back a little bit to why did people care about all that shit? Because you went out there and styled on people in the cage and knocked out. That's why they like you. Not because you got crazy rainbow hair and you smoke weed. It's because you do that with those tattoos and then go bust people up. So I think he's just like, all right, I got to get back to job number one, which is being a badass fighter. And I love to see that for him.
I want to jump in there because I know I asked you a question, but I want to stay on that because you bring up a good point. Because remember, it was the Sphere as well. And Sean at the time was saying things like, it's not about the Sphere. It's about me. I'm the show. I'm the star. And I'm sure he's made plenty of money. And he's got the Lamborghinis. And he's got all the sponsors and the YouTube and the podcast. And probably, I believe there was like TV shows in talks and stuff like that. And he's only a young guy. And it's easy. And I think I did a pretty good job of doing it. And I know you have done. But like some people, it's easy to get carried away with it all. It's easy to just take it for granted that, hey, this is my life now. And I think maybe that did happen. And the Sphere being this mega event that was going to be a one-off as well. I'm not saying he's the type of guy that folds under pressure, but when you put it all together, the fact it was the Sphere, all those distractions, trying to be this larger than life character, as you say, with the hair, which is a bad example, but it kind of encompasses what we're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Character. Yeah, just everything. The suits, all of it. Yeah, it's just, and you know what? I don't think he needs to get away from that either. I think he just needs to realize that because of his fighting is why he gets to do that. You know what I mean? It's like there's a reason that you've got brands, you've got style, you got all that. But at the end of the day, it's because you're a really good martial artist, and you got to remember that. And you've got to be able to make sure that when it's time to go and it's camp, like you've got to cut that shit out. And the weed, like we all know that cannabis at this point isn't necessarily all that bad for you. But when you're in training camp, like that's still something that you've got to limit. If you're smoking it, like, that's not good for you cardio wise. I don't care who you are. That smoking a lot of something isn't great. So that just things like that. It means he's trying to get back to, all right, I got to perform.
And then on the flip side, you've got Merab Dvalishvili,
who's always doing that.
Yeah. I mean, talk about mentally strong, talk about a little bit mental, period.
Crazy. Yeah.
But that's good. It'll help him. But he's a shorter guy, right, for the division. which I think in this situation helps him because he's stockier, he's a little thicker, he's got a big neck, he's got a big head, a big jaw. When he gets hold of people, he picks them up and ragdolls them. He's got the strength, he's got the technique, he's got the wrestling, he's got the cardio. The man's a machine.
That's for sure. Yeah.
I mean, I like Sean. Sean's been very gracious with his time.
I like Sean a lot.
Merab, as has Merab. And I've always been impressed with Sean O'Malley with my personal interactions. I've told this story a few times. We were in London. They announced one of his fights. I forget which one it was. At London, he came on the stage and I hosted like a Q&A with him. Yeah. And then afterwards, I said, what are you doing? You're going to go out for dinner and this and that? And he's like, no, I'm getting straight on a plane and getting out of here because I've got a couple of days to spend with my daughter before training camp starts. And that's the most important thing to me. And I was like, you see one side on TV and I'm like, but then, because I thought he's going to go out in London as Sugar Sean O'Malley, the bantamweight champion of the world. He's going to be loving all the attention and going to the restaurants and talking to all the chicks and just reveling in the moment. He's like, no, I'm flying out of here to see my daughter and then start camp. Yeah. And I was like,
hell yeah.
This guy's a professional,
Yeah, he came and visited me when I was in the hospital in Phoenix.
Did he?
Yeah.
Get out of town.
Yeah. When I had all the that's when I had the collapsed lung thing after I fought James Vick, and I was there for like 10 days in Phoenix. And for a while I was there with no family. I didn't have anybody there except for the UFC medical advisor that was there with me. And he came by and was like, yo, what's up? Came and visited me. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. And he was just starting.
Did you know the guy?
Right at Sean?
Yeah.
I mean, just from calling fights and in Contender Series, yeah.
Oh, that is cool.
Said, what's up? Yeah, I was like, all right, hell yeah, dude.
Again, the man behind
might have brought me a little something for the pain.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure you guys had a lot in common there. All right. Anyway, after I've just glazed him,
who are you picking?
Merab. I'm sorry.
Well, we did do a damn good job of giving the reasons on what Sean can do. He can do it, but I'm going with Merab.
Yeah, listen, it's a crapshoot, Who knows, right?
Who knows?
Sean might scratch him. Sean might stop the takedowns. Sean might win the fight. But do you want me to ask me where I would put my money right now? Yeah, on Merab. Yeah. Simple as that.
You guys think this has anything to do with it? I mean, this might slow down Merab enough that Sean can stay on the back foot and keep him at a distance.
Stamp on his toe,
punch him in the face a few times and win the fight. Who knows?
Nah. Adrenaline's going to be flowing. But stay on, Brian. Who you picking to win this fight? And Harrington.
So I just looked at UFC statistics. In rematches in the UFC, the winner has won 26 times. The loser, though, has won 21 times. So that spread is a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. I really like Sean O'Malley in this fight. I mean, everything he's talked about, you guys were saying, like as far as the distractions go, but also, like prioritizing family time, spending time with family, not doing the video game streaming, not smoking weed, not trying to be, some cool guy, right? Like somebody who's actually knock focused on out. Right, like Merab is still focused on building a social media presence, getting to the kind of paychecks that Sean O'Malley is, the relevancy, right? He's openly talking about taking this fight with massive injuries. He's got these injuries and he's going around filming content for social media. Sean O'Malley is focused on beating Merab Dvalishvili this Saturday night. I think it's singularly focused. Sean O'Malley's a dangerous man.
I'm on Team Harrington.
You bring up some very, very sage points there. Do we know what the odds are?
Sean's got to be an underdog, right?
Yes. He is. I believe it was like plus 150 or plus 250. Let me check.
For who? For Merab?
Merab is the odds-on favorite.
And Brian, who are you picking for the fight? You jumped off right when I was about to.
Yeah, Merab minus 325, O'Malley plus 260.
Oh shit! Yeah. So he's a big favorite, Merab.
Yeah, yes. I'm with Harrington. I think all the things Harrington said, plus the broken toe, I think it's all going to line up. I think Sean O'Malley's going to knock him out. Merab gets hit.
Mike, should we change?
I'll be honest. Harrington, don't throw this in my face. But after hearing what Harrington said, I'm like, and the injury and everything Harrington said, I'm like, fuck it, I'm changing my pick. I've got Sean.
Yes, it's the first.
It is.
I've never swayed you before. Come on, Sean, don't let me down, dude. Please make me look smart on this one.
I think Sean does it after that because you bring up some really good points.
All right. Well, you know what? For the sake of the show, I got to stick with my pick then, just to be the odd one out. We can't all go.
So
somebody's got to pay. Somebody's got to pay. What's the bet here? We got to do something.
One chip challenge. I think I still have one sitting around.
No.
We did that with Anthony. Holy shit. Rebecca had about 5 of them. And
it was really bad. You know, I learned the secret to, it's not milk that you drink to kill that, because it's a base. So you drink soda. Like a Coca-Cola will neutralize a one chip challenge much better than milk will.
Regardless.
Pro tip. I think they're discontinued now, by the way.
I ain't doing that shit, but I don't know.
Yeah, no way.
We always say this. We never follow through with them anyway. So
Come on with something.
You got to wear a silly hat if you lose.
Yeah, there you go.
Guys, I'll send some out. I've got extras.
Oh, please send me one. Co-main event, Juliana Pena, Kayla Harrison. I'll start it off. I think Kayla Harrison, I don't think it's going to be easy for her, right? We've seen her. She kind of got tired against Larissa Pacheco in the PFL. I didn't watch a lot of PFL, but I did see that fight because I wanted to see what all the hype was about Kayla Harrison. She's lived up to the hype in the UFC. She's looked really good. Her debut was great. Then she went to a decision, but then against Pacheco, she got tired as the fight went on. This is at 135. You know, that extra pound will hurt her. Pena, not the most impressive with the strike, whatever, but she's big. She's strong. She's aggressive. She's got an iron will. She's been talking crazy shit. She's very confident, right?
She is crazy.
I think it's going to be tough for Kayla, but my pick is Kayla.
Yeah. I do think Julie's going to be a maniac out there, but I think she's just going to get taken down and potentially muscled around too much. I'm going Kayla too, but I do agree that she's going to make it. I think she's going to make it a fight. I think she can definitely survive for a while. She might there's a chance for a finish, but I don't know. That'd be tough to do with Pena.
Yeah.
I think just too much on the ground.
Harrington, have you put any non-MMA? Oh, yeah, there's the number one there, Khabib. I'm just looking at
I watched that video of Khabib on the...
What's going on in Paris? I haven't seen this. What's happening in Paris?
Well, so it ties into the Khabib thing because PSG won the Champions League. I believe it was the first time in history. And the riots that broke out after the win were, we saw it last week when Liverpool won the Premier League. It was like a big party. There was, red smoke everywhere. It was a wild atmosphere. Paris took it to another level. Paris was literally on fire following the win.
My God.
Right. So
people talk about Philadelphia being bad. Come on.
Hey, bro, when we were in Paris commentating, there was a little circuit I would do in a run. And, the river, the Seine, look at this shit. I would run over there and then under the bridge.
Yes, I know where you're
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do know where you mean. I've ran there, and it's sketchy.
It's sketchy.
Yeah, it's sketchy.
And this looks pretty sketchy.
I did the same thing. I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm safe down here.
Every one of my runs in Paris. Now, granted, when I stayed last time with Rebecca, we went to some nice parts. It was lovely. But yeah, near that hotel, I go on some runs. I saw some not too stereotypical Parisian things,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Lots of meth, people with the shirts off.
Lots of drugs.
I'm in Calgary, though. Bro, I've seen a lot of drug use here, man. There's a lot of cracked out crazies around here. Man.
It's bad everywhere. It's crazy. Any city, you're gonna see a lot of it.
I guess I'm a little sheltered from that. I live in suburbia in Orange County.
Yeah. Well, I just went back this week, and it's the most I've been back down to like the city in a while because, I just don't. I'm here with the family or I'm on the road. So it's not like I'm getting down to the city too often, but I drove around my old neighborhood that I grew up in because we've just been talking about it with the show and stuff. And Gooden was here doing that, where he goes to the gyms and like does little documentaries on it. So I took him around there and it was like, fuck. So still dumb.
Yesterday, obviously, I only have my protein and my eggs, but I do have a steak in the evening. So I went for my steak, and before I was walking back to watch the fights, and I'm walking along, and there's a homeless guy pushing all his worldly belongings in a shopping cart. Right, he's pushing on, and there's a kid following him along, and he looked homeless as well. And he's talking in this voice, goes, can you please just lend me $1? And maybe if I get $1, I can buy a lottery ticket. And maybe with a lottery ticket, I can change my life. And I just heard that as I was walking along, right? And as I continued walking, it's all I could think about. I thought, geez, that's a kid, man. That's a kid. That's a kid's voice. And that's something a kid would say, right? And I'm like, and I continued walking. And after about 2 minutes, I thought, I've got to find this kid. I've got to, I've got money in my pocket. I've been given some per day money, right?
Yeah.
I've got to chuck him some money to help him out. Because I just thought, if that was my children, so I turned around and I'm like, I'm not running, but I'm walking fast because I saw the direction he went in. And, I don't think they're walking too quick. They're asking people for money or whatnot. So I'm stomping down the street. If you're that English guy that had his top off, riding the bike yesterday that pulls over and goes, bloody hell, Michael Bisping, can I get a picture? I said to him, sorry, mate, I'm trying to find someone. I was trying to find this homeless kid before he got too far. Anyway, I'm stomping down the street and I get closer and closer. And I'm like, went past a few crazies and there's some people swinging some shit around and whatnot. And then I get there and this kid, I thought it was a kid. Oh. All of a sudden, he's transformed, right? He's got shades on. He's got this biggest, I don't know if it was a cigarette or something, but it was like a white cigar. And he's blowing out smoke. And he's like, yeah, man, these blah, 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 talking like that. And I'm like, because he had long hair and he's kind of short. So he was walking along and he was talking in a kid's voice, trying to get $1 off the other homeless person. And I fell for it. I went and hunted him down, man. And I was going to give him $100 or something.
Oh,
son of a
I
bitch.
thought you were going to say it was like a kid, but it was a scheme they had going. And no, it turns out it's just a crackhead.
Yeah, just a crackhead. And then I was walking along back to the hotel under the bridge again. The under the bridges are always good.
There's always under the bridge, yeah.
Yeah, and there was 2 paramedics literally saving the life of someone. And right as I walked by, that's when the person came back to life or whatever, because the paramedics come and they're like, oh, there you are. There you are. And, I was like, shit, man.
It's coming out of overdose.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. It's nuts to see that stuff.
It really is.
Sad. It's
very, very sad. But what was Khabib doing?
Yeah,
So they had Khabib working the desk for the Champions League, and they had him on there with other luminaries such as I Show Speed.
Luminaries.
And some there was some legends of the game, and Khabib he's Khabib wherever he is.
And this guy a little bit broke my heart.
Why? When did I do that?
2006 when he played against Real Madrid.
Oh, with Arsenal?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's okay. I hope you're not too upset.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Did you give me the fight?
I'm going to be honest and humble. I think he's better than me running, but football IQ, I'm much better.
Wow. Football
100%. 100%. Now look, Khabib.
No,
wait. Time out. I seen the clip of you playing football. It wasn't the best. I'm going to be honest. And my skill level is better.
Don't forget, between us is nobody right now. I'm very close. Now you're in my world right now. Yeah. You understand?
Khabib.
But you can talk. Freedom speech.
Micah is our...
we need more Khabib in our life.
We do.
I need more of that.
That was hilarity, right? And it's just the way he delivers it. It's great.
Yeah.
2 things. One, the level of Khabib. That's one of the biggest sporting events on the planet.
Yeah.
And there's Khabib on the post-fight show.
Yeah, and looking cool as a cucumber out there too.
And I show speed, right? I'm now figuring out who this guy is, but I've seen lots of clips of him like running around Korea just being a dick, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, who is this guy? Turns out he's like one of the biggest streamers on the planet or something, right?
Yeah, I've seen same kind of crazy clips of him, and just to see the things he gets to do based on being like what these kids are doing now with becoming streamers and all this shit. It still blows my mind. I mean, to be there next to Khabib and all these other, and then there's this streamer guy.
Yeah, they're like the new pop stars because they're on.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
They get
man.
millions of people that watch them.
And I'm not against it. I'm not saying anything like I'm not being an old grumpy man. I'm just it's just like wow, this. I'm accepting
listen.
where we're at.
I do some live streaming here and there on my YouTube channel, so I've got nothing against it. And fair play. What is the reach? Because I have no idea. What is his reach, Brian?
I can look up stats, but I think millions of people watch him. I think he has something like. I'll look it up.
Okay. Yeah, but still, hey, fair play to Khabib, though, man. Fair play to Khabib.
He just cracks me up, and you're right. It's just the way he delivers it in that with a little smirk and that Russian accent. He's perfect. More Khabib on TV.
30.
How many's he got?
39.7 million.
Wow.
Subscribers.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Jesus Christ. That's
Think
not
about
far
that.
off the
That's on
population
YouTube,
of
yeah.
the UK.
Yeah. On YouTube, that's his sub numbers.
39 million subscribers.
They're
So that kid's
almost 40.
paid then too, right? I mean, that kid's making money.
Like oil money. It's stupid.
So stupid.
And when did he start his
God
channel?
bless him, man. God bless him.
Because he does have
Fair play,
personality,
man.
I'll give him that.
Yeah, of course.
Talking about I show
He does
speed.
crazy shit.
Yeah.
He's not afraid of a challenge. I think is that the kid Dan Hooker beat up?
Oh, you're talking about in that. Have you seen what Dan Hooker's doing in his backyard?
Yeah, the 1 minute fights.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love it as well. It's brilliant.
Yeah. He seems to be getting a lot of shit from his government though over there in New Zealand. They're giving him shit for it.
I'm not surprised.
I mean, I'm not surprised either, but
they are the wokest of the woke. Well, no.
Harrington, was that him? Was that the guy that
that was the guy?
I take that back. I might go to New Zealand one day.
Yeah, I want to go back.
I want to go back. Love New Zealand. Love Canada. Love the
Canada
UK.
too, yeah.
Love them all.
Love all of them. More UFC events to those places, please.
Yeah, no, of course. Harrington, any big stories? Because I am on a movie set. It is a Sunday, by the way, just to pull the curtain back. We're doing this on a Sunday. Paul's accommodating me. I appreciate you, Paul. And Harrington and Brian, of course. Appreciate you guys.
This one's kind of a big story. Noche UFC no longer going to be in Mexico. Instead, they moved it to San Antonio, Texas. I think it's just
a big story
in the sense that, the people reacted to the floated main event of Alexander Volkanovski versus Yair Rodriguez. Now it's been downgraded from a pay-per-view to a fight night. There's a better chance we're going to see Yair versus Diego Lopez, I would assume, given that change.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a change of venue. Apparently, the arena in Guadalajara isn't going to be ready in time.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like.
I know in San
Antonio is cool.
No, but there's a large, Mexican.
Yeah, no, that would be a great
spot. A lot of Latinos.
Yeah. I think I had quite a lot of Mexican food when I was there. Actually,
are you allowed to say Mexicans? There's a lot of Mexicans there.
Of course,
I know. It's crazy though, that they make it that I even thought. Should I even say there's a lot of Mexicans? It borders Mexico.
Yeah,
but
I had fun there the last time we were there.
Yeah, we did.
Is that where that river walk is?
Yeah. Remember?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that spot.
We had some good Mexican food.
It was so romantic. It was
me, you.
Isn't it funny? Sometimes we catch ourselves on these spots and on the road where we're like, this would be much more appropriate if I was here with my wife and not a bunch of dudes. But we are strolling through the river walks and the places in Paris. It's funny.
Yeah.
Fun.
And then there's Brendan. Regardless, no matter where we are, Brendan Fitzgerald will find a piano.
He will find a piano. He will find a piano, and he might take his shirt off.
He does.
He might take his shirt off. I saw him the next day, and I was like, dude, it was gold. He was like, I don't know. I probably shouldn't have taken my shirt off. I was like, it was amazing.
No, it was hilarious, man.
It was amazing.
It was hilarious. All right. Well, listen, it's a bit of a show. Oh, we should do the other two opening fights as well on the main card. Pardon me. For the pay-per-view. Where is it? Let me just find it. Where is it? UFC 316. Oh, yeah. So we got Mario Batista versus Patchy Mix. Of course, Patchy Mix made his long-awaited debut, 20-1, submission machine. Anyone that I've spoken to says this guy is legit. He is for real. Bautista, great fighter. He's on a good streak as well. Last beat Jose Aldo. But from what I hear about Patchy Mix, this sounds like a tough one for Bautista.
Yeah. Patchy Mix is good. And, I think he's going to seize the moment. And I like Mario Bautista as well. But, I'd be leaning towards Patchy Mix to get it done in this one. I think he's a big, strong guy for that division. He's got legit experience coming in here. Don't think it should overwhelm him. I think he can handle it.
Kevin Holland versus Vicente Luque.
Ooh.
Tricky one, right?
Tricky one, yeah. Because, these are the types of fights that you could see Kevin Holland maybe slipping up and grappling too much with somebody like Vicente. But, man, based on momentum and how good Kevin Holland looked in there with Gunnar Nelson, I'm going Kevin Holland on that one.
Yeah, same. I think the Kevin Holland that fought Gunnar Nelson down at 170.
He shows up.
I think there's been a bit of maturity, something that's happened mentally as well, because he makes really good money. He's a big star, but you got to win fights, man. You got to win fights, and I think he's realized 170 is where he needs to be. He's been active this year, but he fought, what's his face? De Ridder. Then he fought Gunnar Nelson. Now he's right back in there again.
Yeah. He likes to be busy, man. He likes it.
But that comes at a price, potentially.
It does.
That comes at a price.
And he talked about being a little bit more patient, and here he is.
I still say Kevin Holland. I just think the frame causes a lot.
I like him in this. Yeah, I think he can get a knockout. I do.
All right. Well, we're doing a shorter one today. So he's saying that we've done an hour and a half pretty much. So,
that's good.
Brian, do you have any questions? If you have one, please send it into bympod@gmail.com. Remember, we're on the Discord. We're chatting it up. We're chatting up an absolute storm. So get yourself in there. We're going to do a complete little line of pink fluffy hats for the #1 Discord member. Okay.
With the karate hands.
With the karate hands. We got to do a hat. We're going to do a shirt with that pose. We've got to do a shirt with that pose. We're doing it. And if you've got a question, send it into BYM Pod. Do us a favor, like the video, subscribe to the video, leave a comment. It helps the algorithm. With that bloody well said, what have we got, Brian?
We have a real silly one today. This is from James.
Hey up, Mike and Paul. I know we're a bit past both these subjects, but it made me laugh the other day. Would you guys rather be first in line to fight the gorilla or last in line for Bonnie Blue? Good work. Fuck you, Warrington.
First off, he's from my neck of the woods. That's a fact. So shout out to the Northwest Massive. That's a hell of a question.
That's a great question.
Assuming you have to do it on both sides of the spectrum. First in line against the gorilla.
Or last.
Or last in line as one of the potentially 2,000 men that she's going to do soon, apparently, with Bonnie Blue.
Gorilla all day.
And by the way, what is going on with her? Like, she needs help. She needs real psychological help, man.
It is difficult for me to read about some of these things that she's trying to attempt. As a guy who's about to have his third daughter into this beautiful world that we live in, and I see that there is also this, they turn out to be this too. So it's like,
yeah.
I hate it. So that being said, let's fucking go, Gorilla.
No, I'm taking last in line all day long.
No, let's go.
I'm stick a Johnny on, you're fine. The Gorilla, you're dead. It's fine. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. I feel like me and Paul would just be able to like chill with the Gorilla, you know?
Yeah.
No, just swoon in. Just like, hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, just go sit in the corner and just be like, you're good over there.
We get some of the gummies.
Brian,
we make sure it's not the 5 milligram. We make sure it's the 50, but we just give him like 30 of them.
That's it.
We wait, then we come up.
You just like crawl along. You don't make eye contact.
Yeah.
You like play with the ground.
We just work in. And then when he's all stoned, you say,
nah, man. I'm going to whisper sweet nothings to Bonnie. I'm like, listen, I can take you out of this.
Jesus.
I can take you out of this, okay?
You definitely wouldn't be the first guy.
Mike, wait. Mike, would you walk in and say, did you save the best for last?
No, it says, hey, baby, listen, I know you think you've seen it all, okay? I know you think you're not going to be able to feel it, but this is the real deal we're talking about here, girl. Strap yourself in, for you're in for one hell of a ride.
Jeez. So, real question. Do you think if you got position on the Gorilla and you got your arm under its jaw, no. All right. He said no.
I think I'd be like this. I wouldn't even be able to, you know what I mean? I wouldn't even be able to reach my arm.
Like if you got fully locked in before the Gorilla turned on.
I know a bunch of jiu-jitsu dickheads out there will say, well, that's because you've got bad technique. Now, rear naked choke, eventually you're going to put them to sleep. But certain moves, we see it. Like you can get a head and arm triangle sometimes and still mother effers won't tap, right?
Yeah. The Gorillas don't tap.
Gorillas don't tap. They spaz.
They don't know how to tap. Yeah. They know how to fight to the death. Yeah.
They go full Merab, right?
But, I think if I poisoned him first, I'd have maybe a chance, but that's it.
My first day on set as a lead in a movie tomorrow, Paul. I'm not going to say I'm nervous because I'm not nervous, but I just...
Are you excited though?
I'm very excited, and I'll be better once I get on set and it actually starts. I think the hesitation and the anticipation.
Day one is
because the producers have put a lot of faith in me. Right, there's a good little budget on this movie. Right, they've put a lot of faith in me. So I'm the only nerves come from wanting to deliver for them. You know what I'm saying? Because I've known these guys for a long time. They've put this great script, great story, a good budget, millions of dollars, and they've essentially put me at the helm of it. And if I f it up, then like, so that brings pressure. So I'm not nervous as opposed to going out there and doing it. I know my lines. You know what I mean? I would have liked to have worked with some acting coaches a bit more, but I can handle it. It's not out of my range, so to speak.
Right. Yeah. You got to remember that you're put in the position too because of just what you bring naturally to the table, right? And you know how that is with the film is, you got to bring you to it and make it your own. And it sounds like from when because I got a little bit of the description of all of it. It seems like
but that's a different one.
Oh, it's different.
Yeah, that's that one.
I don't know this one at all.
That one
that's later. That's right.
Yeah. Right. Let me ask you this, Paul, and we're going to wrap the show in a second. But obviously, as a trained actor, so here's what I'm working on, right? Because everyone I speak to, everyone, and I know this till the cows come home. It's like less because the screen picks up everything, and I'm a very kind of guy. I'm all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So I've been doing some tapes and stuff, and I'm like, shit, I've got to bring that down. Like my blinking every few seconds.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I've got to stoic it up. Give me some advice, Paul. Give me some advice.
I would say, especially with film and things like that, for sure, less is more. And the way to put that into action is like when you're doing these scenes and things, you've got to be really focused on the person that like you're dealing with and really just delivering the message and reacting to the person that you're dealing with. Like look at them and use them as the focus point and just try to deliver it in a way that's like you're really feeling it, but you don't necessarily have to add too much to it, right? But know, like, in your mind, think of each scene and what am I doing here? Like, always, if you know that, what's this scene about? What am I trying to do in this scene? And read the lines like that. What's going on in this guy's life right now in this moment, in this scene? And what do I want out of this? And if that's playing in your mind the whole time and then you're saying those lines, that's all I got.
That's great advice. And the good news is, and I'm not going to give away the plot, but the good news is that in this scene, I'm a deadbeat dad. Well, not a deadbeat dad, but I'm a dad that's fucked things up. I don't want to say too much, right? 3 kids, wife.
Yeah.
I made a mess of things.
Yeah. So you got legit shit that you can relate to too, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. I can't talk
on the right way.
Maybe I've even said too much now. Might get sued. But anyway, Paul, thanks for doing it on the Sunday. Brian and Harrington, thank you for doing it on a Sunday. And believers, thank you for watching the show. See you next week.